Class S. If you've watched Zoids New Century or New Century Zero, not sure why they decided to take the word zero out of the Australian release of the season, but anyway, if you've watched New Century, you've definitely heard Class S being said frequently throughout the last arc of the anime. So much so, you'd think they'd introduce this concept sooner to lead up to this finale instead of just kinda having it appear. But I digress. Although Class S is told to be a very prestigious and highly regarded tier, we don't know much, if anything at all, about it. So in today's video, I'm going to go a little out there with some theories and try to explain what Class S could have been like if, for instance, Zoids New Century ever had a Season 2 or an epilogue or something to conclude it and carry on. Before I start on this one, here's the shameless plug to ask you to please like and subscribe.
No. Please? No. Please? No. Please? Okay.
Cool. Thanks for agreeing. So if you haven't subscribed already and are a part of the 95.4% of viewers who aren't subscribed to my channel, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do subscribe, as my goal for 2020 is to hit 1,000 subscribers. I do actually have to start trying to make more videos to in turn achieve this goal, so hopefully I can find some more time, as I'm enjoying these videos a lot. So, and also leave a comment on your thoughts of the video, or Zoids, or anime in general, or even if you have any recommendations on stuff to do in Japan. Just let me know, because I'm actually going there in like 3 weeks from writing this script, so anything you got would be sick. Alright, let's get into it. So we're going to start off easy. How to actually get into Class S. The first prerequisite you need though is being in Class A. Being in Class A automatically allows you to participate in the Royal Cup, which is held once every 4 years, similar to the Olympics for instance. Now how do you get into Class A? Well, it's pretty simple. Just win most, if not all of your Zoids battles and keep a good record. Also, if you don't happen to be in Class A, there are 2 other known ways that will let you participate in the Royal Cup. That being if you're the number 1 team in Class B, as seen with the Tigers team, as well as through a lottery, which is the way Harry Champ and his team entered. So now how do you get into Class S? Well, all you have to do is win the Royal Cup. Sounds easy, right? So how do you win the Royal Cup, you might ask? Basically, you have to participate in multiple random battles, and you need to win the battle to get a piece of a map, which will lead you to the finish line and make your team the winner and a part of Class S. That's pretty much how you go about it. The thing about the battles, however, is they are completely random, as if 2 teams end up in a certain radius of each other, and I'm assuming as long as one party wants to take place in the battle, the teams have to battle. The reason I say assuming is because when 2 teams are in the region a battle initiates, which seems forced. However, it is seen that Harry Champ's team and the Tigers team are initiated in a battle, but both just kind of back up and leave the judge behind. So I guess it's possible to refuse a battle, but I think that was just a gag kind of thing and probably held a penalty if you were to retreat from a battle. So I'm going to go off the assumption that you can't actually run from a battle, and whoever you find is your opponent, and that's final. Meaning you can't just like run around and find different people, avoiding all the stronger opponents and destroying a bunch of the weaker ones that you come across, because, well, you're stuck in the battle. It's final. But you can actually split up your team into multiple parts to face different teams at once. This allows you to get more map pieces because you're winning more battles at the same time. This is kind of seen when Jamie is actually with Lena trying to fight other teams and then engages with the Berserk Fury and proceeds to, well, get Swiss cheesed. F in the comments for my boy Jamie. Didn't deserve that kind of treatment. And while that was going on at the same time, Bit and Brad were actually battling Naomi and Leon. So there was 2 battles going on at the same time. If they won both of them, that's 2 map pieces. That's way quicker to actually get to that finish line and try and win the World Cup to be in Class S. Good strategy, unless your team's shit and can't beat people while split up. You know, you gotta weigh up pros and cons. Also, the last real rule of this is that you can only enter 4 Zoids, and if one of them goes down, it's out of the tournament completely. So you can't, you know, do maintenance on it, repair it, and then come back in the battle, you're out. But that's really it. Beat 5 teams in the quickest time, and get to the finish line first. So now we know how to get in. The question becomes, what is it like? Well, due to how prestigious it is, how many people would even be in it? If we think about it this way, right? Zoids are the major thing on Planet Z in New Century, and Zoids battles are the biggest sport in existence. A lot of people's full-time jobs would be in Zoids battles, so for it to progress to be in this state, where it's the be-all, end-all, and the world revolves around it like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something, I would estimate the Royal Cup itself would have had to been around for, let's say for example, 100 years. That would mean there are at this stage only 25 teams within Class S, give or take. So for what I'm assuming is a worldwide sport, there are millions of Zoids and pilots around the world, so 25 or so is pretty exclusive, and the only known way of getting into Class S is by participating and winning the Royal Cup. So once you're in Class S, my guess is you have to maintain that status. I don't think it's permanent at all. This is mainly because we have seen teams drop through classes before, such as the Tigers team. But what I'm not sure of is who you would battle against. Is there a whole new league with some SS and SSS tiers to go through? As we've never seen a single Class S team in the anime, we've got nothing to go off. However, we have seen the Blitz team, for example, in Class A, not wanting to battle people in Class B, as the prize money is less for battling someone in a lower class, and it makes them kind of look bad if they pub stomp a lower class team. So my guess, and what I always hoped for as a kid, was that there was a whole new tier with much stronger Zoids and rarer Zoids that we just kind of never saw in New Century, and that even though the Blitz team is now recognized as being one of the strongest teams out there and being worthy of Class S, it doesn't mean they don't have a long way further up to go in the ranks to get to the top of Class S. Also, I'd assume that people in Class S, if they could stay in Class S and maintain that rank, even if they were to pass away, I guess they would have recruitment for new people in the team. So for example, I don't know, if people had children and they wanted to raise their children to be in that class, I'm guessing there would be tests and they would stay in that class. But if they can't maintain that class, then obviously they would drop down to, for example, Class A. So considering how prestigious Class S is, there is a guarantee it would hold a lot of benefits. Similar in a way to if you were a very high-end football player, for example. In Class S, you'd probably get, free ammunition for your battles, free servicing and repairs on your Zoids, free accommodation if you need it. You'd probably live a pretty luxurious life up there with all the other elitists. All this is accessible for one reason, because of how popular Zoids is within the New Century anime. It is like the main source of entertainment within the whole world. So considering that, there is a lot of money in it. When you think about, like I said, football, there is a lot of money in it because of how large of a sport it is. So considering that, taking it into the context of the world in New Century with Zoids, you would have so many luxuries in such a high-end class because people will be consuming it and watching it. People would get ad revenue on it, same as like YouTube and everything that exists in real life, as well as the fact that people would probably bet on it. You kind of see this in the episode where Bit versus the Elephander. I forget the guy's name in it. I'll pop it up on screen. But he versus the Elephander, and you see Leon and Naomi watching that, and my guess is they're at a bar probably betting on it. So it's so huge and ingrained into their society that it'd be so much money in it. The battle commissioner would be filthy rich, and they would just have so many perks for being in a prestigious class like Class S. I can only imagine what they'd have in there. So what we do know is that whatever the case regarding this, the battles will be tougher, the prize money will be larger, and I'm extremely sad we will never get to see what Class S may have held for us in some sort of Season 2 to New Century that never has and likely never will happen. Although we never got to see what Class S was like, I really enjoyed the ending of Zoids New Century, and I think imagining what it could have been is probably almost better than actually knowing. But, like our good pal Big Cloud once said, finally, we've made it to the top. And there's a whole world out there to explore. And as cringy as it might sound when I say it, hearing that back, it sounds so damn bad. But I do like to think of it as, a good little metaphor to end off the season. Even though, you think you've reached your peak, you think you've done it all, there's always more out there and some sort of new challenge to overcome. I just rewatched some parts of New Century just for this video, and it truly is one of my favorite animes of all time. It's just really nostalgic to me personally, and I really thought the characters and story were phenomenal. But hey, my experience is always going to be different from the next guy's, so alright, that's enough rambling from me. I just really love New Century, and can't talk enough about it. If you want to see more videos on New Century, whether it be anything regarding, characters, Zoids themselves, things like the black boxes, that's a pretty interesting thing. There's so many things to cover in the lore of New Century, even Chaotic Century, anything. Just let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, as I greatly appreciate it. And leave a comment, as I said a second ago, because I am always down to chat about anything and everything regarding Zoids. Alright, have a good day, guys. Peace out. See you later.